possibly test nuclear weapons. It says right here, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov warned on Thursday that Russia will respond in kind if the United States begins testing nuclear.
Shalom. I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahushai Ba'Hashem Rakakwadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother I'm Noah Allah from Gemma, Chicago, and as you can see here on the screen, I was just watching this video. Alright, it is by Snyder Reports. Alright, Americans concerned over World War III. Emergency draft possible. And yeah, you know, you look on the news right now and the war drums are beating. All right, here you have multiple news sources that are reporting about, you know, this war with Venezuela. All right, and here you got CBS News that says Hegseth announces Operation Southern Spear as strikes near Venezuela continue. Or you got what we know about potential Trump land strikes in Venezuela and measures against Maduro.
These boots are made from a single...
You know, the Pentagon preparing for possible military action in Venezuela, sources say. Alright. And we know that, you know, Venezuela is basically allies with Russia. Right? And not too long ago, Russia has sent sending Venezuela or you have news sources that say, you know, could Russia end up fighting U.S. forces in Venezuela, or Russia signals it can arm Venezuela with new Orshnik caliber missiles amid U.S. buildup, and I believe they already did so. They sent Venezuela some weapons and whatnot, because, you know, Venezuela and Russia are allies. But nonetheless, you know, the war drums are beating. All right. You know, there's tensions between, you know, the U.S. and Venezuela, and now, you know, it will escalate to where, you know, Russia is going to get involved.
Includes a military buildup in Puerto Rico as well. Charlie D'Agata is there.
New Pentagon images show a B-52 long-range bomber flying over the USS Gerald R. Ford as it steams toward the Caribbean, a provocative display of the American military power that is now being staged against Venezuela. The Ford and the warships sailing with it will be bolstered by F-35 stealth fighter jets already operating in the area. Those F-35s are being flown out of this airfield in Puerto Rico. It's a base the Navy shut down more than 20 years ago, but it is back and operational as the United States builds up forces ahead of a possible military action against Venezuela. The military presence is drawing notice from locals like Damian Leon.
I feel tense, kind of anxious, not knowing what's going to happen. Maybe an attack of someone close.
The Roosevelt Roads base is one of 5 locations where U.S. forces are now operating on an American territory strategically positioned north of Venezuela. Samuel Rivera Baez is the mayor of the town located just next to the base. The F-35s wake us up in the morning, he told us. But is there a concern that if the United States engages in Venezuela, that Puerto Rico might become a target? Right now, the United States is the most powerful in the world, he told us. Having them here, taking care of us, we feel more than safe. As the U.S. conducts live-fire exercises in the region, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, whom the U.S. wants to remove from power for alleged cartel ties, spoke out against what he called threats of an invasion. Raise your hand if you want Venezuela to become a Yankee colony, he said. Tonight, the Pentagon released new video of the latest boat strike in the Caribbean earlier this week, saying it killed 4 narco-terrorists with narcotics on board, but without providing any evidence.
Venezuela is ordering a massive mobilization of its military as the United States sends more of its own firepower to the region.
Amantes de la paz.
We love peace. We deeply love peace. We don't want war here nor in any other place around the world. But if they dare to touch Venezuela, they're going to find us in every street.
The announcement came after America's largest warship arrived in U.S. Southern Command area of operations. That area includes most of Latin America. We've got CNN senior national security reporter Zach Cohen in Washington for us. Zach, good to see you. What more do we know about Venezuela's mobilization of not only its troops, but equipment as well as ammunition? And then also, how significant is it that the USS Gerald R. Ford is now in Southern Command's region?
Yeah, Venezuelan officials making clear that this mobilization was ordered directly by President Nicolas Maduro, and it comes as a response to the U.S. military buildup in the region, which of course has been used to conduct these strikes against alleged drug boats, but increasing tensions with Venezuela in the process. Venezuelan officials calling the U.S. buildup a, quote, imperialist threat, and saying that they plan to conduct land, air, and naval exercises to really, as a show of force, to essentially ward off a potential U.S. invasion of sorts. Now, the aircraft carrier USS Gerald Ford is the U.S.'s largest aircraft carrier. It is the most advanced aircraft carrier in the U.S. fleet. At the same time, it brings significant air assets as well. It has 9 air squadrons.
God damn. Well, you can see that the cruel Lord, all right, Trump, is basically, really making shit happen. The Lord is putting the spirit on Trump, all right, to make these major moves, all right. And all what that is doing is, at the end of the day, all what that is doing is fulfilling prophecy, as what is spoken in the scriptures, all right, the wars and rumors of wars, all right, and the famines in diverse places. Esau coming down with that great wrath, all right. And that's exactly what you're seeing there on the news. And, yeah, and that goes to show you that the Lord is about to visit the earth that he made. He's about, our Lord Yahushua, he's about to return, with chariots, right? He's about to crack them clouds. And we know that time is near because of these prophecies that are taking place. That says, Matthew 24 and 6 says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And that is exactly the time that we're living in right now. All right, the fulfillment of these prophecies. All right, they're basically that you're seeing right before your very eyes. All right.
Surface capabilities, and it will join what is already a very large U.S. military presence in the region, including guided missile destroyers that are all ballistic capable, raising questions about what this firepower is needed. The Trump administration insists.
Goddamn. I mean, yeah, things are about to intensify. All right. There you go. Venezuela mobilizes troops in response to U.S. warship in Caribbean. And of course, there will be a draft real soon too, right? Because in Snyder Report's recent video that I just showed you earlier, I didn't play the video or anything, but you guys can go ahead and look at it yourselves. But basically, he was speaking about how there are less people that are being recruited into the U.S. Army, into the military and shit. All right, so real soon they're gonna have to use that draft method, right? Start selecting people, right? Having them get drafted into these wars that are building up. Yeah, you got a lot of people that join the military, or they join the military because they want financial support. They join the military just to pay off their school, but hey, ain't none of them are ready for what's about to really go down. All right, they didn't expect wars to come to pass. They didn't expect that that they're about to see dead bodies and shit. Right, all with these new generation people that are basically joining the military for it. All what they expect is is that financial assistance. All this like Medicare, Medicaid, whatever the fuck. Free college and shit like that. But now, we're coming into a time of war, right? And then, in the scriptures, right? The scriptures was written like 2,000 years ago, all right? And we know that these scriptures are faithful and true, are based upon these prophecies that are taking place, all right? And then, hey, the Lord is not a liar, all right? The Lord is not a liar, all right? Everything that is written in the scriptures are true. But here's John 16, and I'm gonna start with verse 4. It says, "But these things have I told you, that when the time shall come, ye may remember that I told you of them. And these things I said not unto you at the beginning, because I was with you." But nonetheless, you see the buildup of the war. That's all over on the news already. This is basically catching a lot of attention. I don't know who. I don't know how much a percentage of these citizens in the U.S. are paying attention to this, but everybody's all distracted with all these like Epstein and all this other bullcrap and shit. But meanwhile, Esau is preparing for war, right? Thirsty, good. Fair war. And then you got all these other nations that are gearing up for war as well. All right. You got Venezuela gearing up for war, and yeah, this is exactly what the times that we're in. All right. Oh, grab the wrong one. Fuck. Joel 3:9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty man, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And that's what the Lord is doing right now. Alright. He mustereth the host thereof. But it says, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Be your plowshares into swords and your sprinting hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong. And yeah, you got these nations that are starting to buck up against Babylon, right? Here you got Venezuela, they're basically doing a massive military drill, right? Because, obviously the U.S.'s warships are coming closer to Venezuela and shit, so they expect an attack. Alright? But, these smaller nations that are basically getting bullied by America, alright, they're starting to buck up against America. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say, I am strong. And yeah, these nations, right, they got better weapon capabilities. They got nuclear weapons, ICBMs now, alright. But I'm just going to get straight to the point where it says, Isaiah 13:4, the noise of the multitude in the mountains like of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. And that's right. All these major moves that you're seeing on the news of, these war talks and, wars and rumors of wars. Alright, the Lord is basically mustering the hosts of the battle. Alright, He's the one who is, drawing these nations near, alright, to come to war against each other. Alright? And hey, just by seeing these things, alright, we know that, salvation is nigh. Right? Salvation is nigh at hand. But nonetheless, hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushua, and Shalom.